Hello, everyone. It's USFanTV. Good to be with you.
You know what that means. We are USMNT.
Exactly right. I am Pat, and I am here.
which is a rarity these days.
Yeah,
Consider yourself lucky. We also have with us tonight Chris
I am Chris.
and TJ.
And I am not Hat Guy tonight. I decided I would give that throne back to that title
Did you
back
wear
to
a
Pat.
hat last time? I didn't even
I
see it.
did.
Were they
It was.
calling you hat guy? Was it confusing for everyone?
It probably was.
I think probably.
If you get over your contract dispute, this would go a lot faster next time.
It's a really weak holdout if I'm only here sometimes.
Is that kind of like the blue flu kind of thing?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Okay.
like I'm in the last year of a contract year. I don't want to get injured, so I just kind of half-ass show up. Uh, we have things to talk about because there's a roster. Did any of the names, was there a name stood out to you guys as interesting or compelling or surprising on the roster?
Christian Pulisic, because he doesn't care to play for the US anymore, right? That's what
Yes,
you're talking about,
that's
right?
what I heard. Yes, Christian Pulisic, even though he was clearly injured because he missed the next game with Dortmund after the last absence, and then he came out on fire and started scoring goals in the Bundesliga and Champions League and assisting and doing all sorts of great things. So yeah, he's definitely a problem, right?
I get
Um,
people are going to say Bradley. I'm not surprised. Guzan surprises me more than any of them. I
of
think.
course, you're not surprised by Bradley. Of course.
I'm really not. But Guzan, he's like 800 years old. He's like older than Chris.
Well, you're older than me, so
There's that too. But
um,
Uh, I
I
guess I don't
I
expect him
mean
to
we could
play.
jump into it, but yeah, Guzan and Bradley both surprised me. Guzan less so. Bradley more just
Yeah.
because it's not like he's been a standout player in MLS even. I mean,
And
sure, he ended last season well, but and look, I think I've been pretty vocal on my love of Bradley, but it's not like this has been a strong season for him in MLS. And then you add to it that he's 31. I don't. I mean, I'm not one to generally fault him for the TNT game. He actually was one of the guys who played decently, but uh, based on the questions recently about his captaincy, maybe there was more to it than just his play on the field in that game. You know, maybe there was something going on there, and then you add to it. Uh, does like okay, so he's back in here. Is he a captain still? Is he just a guy on
that's a
the
good question.
roster?
I
Is he a starter? Like, I have a lot of questions. Like, this is why I advocated for not calling him up anymore. And it's not because I dislike him. I still think he is one of the best players we've ever produced. But, or at least most complete players we've ever produced. But he is like what to what end? You know, like what are we getting from this? At 31, he's not going to be playing for us most likely in the next World Cup. I mean, what even if he was still good enough, I think we have enough young guys who are capable that they take the spot. And then I don't know, as we've talked about, this is the time for those guys to learn. So why bring him in?
yeah, I'm not sure it makes sense. Like for the reasons you bring up, we know what we have there. We probably won't see him going forward. Maybe, but I mean, maybe we will. Um, and then there's the whole issue too of you're not just dropping another player in there. You're dropping a really big personality into that
Mm-hmm.
room. And to this point, the guys were kind of like, young and carefree or whatever. And now you've got Michael Bradley there looking over their shoulder. So I'm a huge fan of Michael Bradley, and I understand the criticism of him, and I understand why we maybe would not want to call him back into the team. But there's the fan side of me is excited to see him out there again, if he is going to even play. It's just I'm excited to see him on the roster again.
I
But the logic point of me is like I don't know what this is quite for, unless it's a leadership role, or maybe they're going to try him at center back. I don't know. We'll see.
I doubt it when we've got Brooks and Miazga.
Right. Yeah, I know. If there's no
we could actually,
there,
I guess, go into the full roster, but we can get there in a minute. While we're on Bradley, and then I'll let you speak, TJ. Unbelievably, you've actually been holding your tongue.
Mute your mic, TJ. You will speak when we tell you. Your 5 minutes is up.
I was listening to a friend of the show, Bobby Warshaw, earlier today, and he made a comment about, why is this an interim coach's decision? This seems like a decision you leave to the full-time coach.
That's a great point.
To bring somebody like Bradley in. Like, someone with his background, personality, persona, like, when there's so much baggage to that, if the next coach says, yeah, I want him in here, by all means.
I have a theory on this.
Should this be the one to do it?
I wonder if the next coach isn't going to be a guy from MLS, but it isn't going to be a guy that has been mentioned before. I wonder if the next coach isn't going to be Bob. I have a feeling.
I brought this up last week.
I should have watched the show. It seems like,
or you could participate. I thought throw that out to you too.
It seems like all of these names, the Berhalters and whatnot, it seems like they'd be done if they were going to be done, and they're not. And I wonder if it isn't. I wonder if it isn't going to be Bob. I have this feeling. I know it's gonna. Well, and if it is, it's gonna.
See, the comment I had last week was, if we're just looking for the best coach in MLS, and we're not sure about Tata Martino, and maybe he's at Mexico, is Bob Bradley the best coach in MLS?
I think if
he's certainly got a better resume than any of the other people who
took his name off the top of the resume and you lined.
I'm not saying I want him again, but
you take the names off the resumes and line them up. There's one that blows you away. Most successful coach in U.S. history, coached in the Premier League, has coached other national teams. Has done well with 2 different MLS startups.
He was on the sideline in the Premier League. I'm not really sure he did a whole lot while he was there.
His 3 weeks.
And he did get Chivas USA to the playoffs, which I think in hindsight might have been his best coaching job to date.
Yeah, it's he did make for some of the angriest viewers we've ever had on this show. So,
but going back to Bradley the Junior there. My thought is
T Jr.
Yeah, there we go. My thought with that is, if you're looking to integrate veterans, again, we talk about this is a time to get these young kids time. This is also time to see how that chemistry works, to see but there is potential to bring him back, to bring Josie back. Again, we're in games that still don't matter. Now you've got, theoretically, the European guys are in game shape. They're in form somewhat. The MLS guys should be in season form. It's not like you got guys that are still in their preseasons or still getting up to speed. Now you've got guys who should be up to speed and going. So I think you're seeing some, again, testing things out. I think Sarakin's job is nothing more than to keep trying different things, see what's working, what's not, to really set the next coach up where he can go look at the film and say, well, this worked well, this didn't, so on and so.
Here are some things. Here are some things to look at. Yeah,
And I wouldn't be surprised to see Sarakin stay with the squad and go become a scout, because you do need more than one, so that double the total of scouts to 2.
U.S. Soccer is now doubled in scouting.
He actually calls and checks in with players who he wants to come here too, I would imagine, Sarakin, rather than just say he did and then he didn't.
I've got a question about Berhalter and Perea and whatever. Is there a chance they don't want the U.S. team job? Because if you're looking to make the jump to Europe and go manage a club team in Europe, I don't know if U.S. national team duty enhances your resume or hurts that.
I think that
it delays it. I don't know that it necessarily changes your trajectory.
I think national team jobs are less and less desirable at this point. Even in this country where the national team is bigger than any individual MLS club job, it feels like that tide's even turning, and it feels like the national team is less desirable than a club team. It seems like if we were just going to take somebody from MLS, maybe not Bob, but if we were just going to take somebody from MLS, we'd have somebody already. But we know who this is, and as Christian pointed out, yeah, there was the report from the Athletic that we should have a name by November 1st. We'll see. Hopefully, these are probably going to be the last friendlies coached by Saracen, and when you go in England in November, perhaps we'll have a permanent coach in place. We'll see, but
I'm willing to wager Chris a pint that he's still got Saracen coaching the team when he goes in November.
I think there's a fair shot at that. I don't know that I would bet against that. I think the push that the announcement there, whatever the positive suggestions that U.S. Soccer's made that there will be someone in place by November 1st, I think it's a lot of wishful thinking. I mean, it's sort of like Ernie Stewart was going to be in the job by August 1st. And yeah, at least in name he was.
Right. And I want to answer anonymity's question just came up. Who's the guy in the hat? Is he a guest? That's a good question. That's a fair question to ask.
Anyway, should we actually go over the full roster?
Yes. Why don't you announce the roster?
I will do it quickly here. Goalkeepers, we got one, Mr. Brad Guzan. Ethan Horvath makes a return. Zach Steffen. Defenders, we have John Brooks. Reggie Cannon for a first-timer. Cameron Carter-Vickers. Aaron Long, another first-timer. Matt Miazga, Anthony Robinson. Ben Sweat, not Keith Sweat, as I have continually believed.
Or Ben Fast.
DeAndre Yedlin. Or Ben Fast, yeah. Midfield, we have Kellen Acosta, friend of the show, at least on our Instagram page. Tyler Adams. Jonathan Amon, Michael Bradley, Julian Green. Weston McKinney, Christian Pulisic, Kenny Sayev, Will Trapp, Tim Weah. And at forwards, we have Andrea Novakovic, Josh Sargent, and Bobby Wood.
I am excited to see Pulisic with the rest of the kids that we've been watching for a year, where he isn't dead tired and only out there because the game's in his hometown. Because the only time we did see him with these guys, he was going through the motions. So I'm excited to see what he can do with this group.
I guess I'm looking forward to see what the soulless NCO can do in Josh Sargent. Chris got the joke. It went right past Pat.
I do want to see. I do want to see what he can do. He's been tearing things up for the Werder Bremen 2. Part of me thought maybe he should stay in hopes that he can get a few extra practices in or something, and maybe he gets his call up to the first team sooner. I also think maybe part of this was a sort of encouragement for Werder Bremen, showing that, hey, the U.S. is going to call him up, so if he looks good here, hey, he's looked good in multiple places, you should give him a shot. Or maybe there's someone saying, yeah, look, he's going to get called up, but it's a month off or whatever, so you can go ahead. I don't know. Nonetheless, I was a little bit surprised to see him there because I thought maybe he would stay and try to earn his first team spot. But yeah, I'm a little surprised at Ethan Horvath because he has struggled with playing time. But so long as you're trying new guys, he hasn't played in a while, so what the hell. Reggie Cannon, my question about him, sure, he's been a good right back for Dallas. We are certainly looking at who our right back options are behind DeAndre. Is this perhaps a sort of nod to Oscar Pereja?
Perhaps.
Maybe. Or you think he has some potential, and you got DeAndre in camp. It gets him a chance to work with DeAndre to see what types of things he needs to work on within his own game.
Maybe.
If he went to Arsenal, how many jerseys would they sell? That's all I want to know.
Perhaps a lot. Ben Sweat. Girl, I want to make you sweat. Sweat till you can't sweat no more. 27 years old. I don't get it. I mean, yeah, I know we're auditioning left back still. We still don't really have that position locked down 100% for sure. But do we need a 27-year-old? I mean, are guys at that point in their career still really an option for us? I guess they sort of are, but I don't know. It seems odd to me that we can't find someone at a younger age to at least try out.
So at 20, I mean, at 27, if you haven't had a shot in camp, what the hell? Again, this is games that don't matter. You can keep trying. Chris with all the '90s hip hop references. Chris was king of the '90s. I mean, just look at his Vanilla Ice like throwback hair going.
That is not what I have.
You guys should see. He has the new iPhone that does the animated emojis. You should see the one he made for himself that he sends us taunts with.
He puts
I gotta say, I love animojis. They're pretty hilarious. They're probably my favorite.
Seriously, it looks just like him.
If you have his Snapchat account, it is on his Snapchat.
Oh, shut up. Beyond that, I'm curious, what does it mean to have like Will Trapp and Michael Bradley in the same lineup?
About as much as the game does in terms of overall value.
Sure, but like my point is, okay, you got Will Trapp, who has been a captain now for a few games, and I don't think anyone's truly sold on him. I think it's more that we just don't have a better option. Bradley, you would have to say, as an international player, is a better option, although hasn't perhaps shown it in this calendar year.
As a, you're talking about as a midfielder or as a captain?
As a midfielder and as a captain.
I think the armband should go to Pulisic.
I would be fine with that.
Those two.
I think he tried the hardest of everyone last October. Although I will say, I don't think Bradley slacked off. I think a lot of that team can take a lot of blame. I don't think those two guys can. But it is odd to me that the captain of that team will make his return on the anniversary of that game, or in theory, will make his return on. Yikes! Like talk about just
anniversary.
Bad taste in your mouth.
We are two.
Oh yeah.
We are two.
Oh, we forgot. Oh, we should have opened with that. That was stupid. I forgot all about that part.
I just remembered it right now. Yeah.
Happy birthday!
USFanTV turns 2 this week, you guys.
And I'm thinking as a birthday gift to ourselves, we should start turning this YouTube into a podcast. Seeing I think I'm going to pay for it anyway, we might as well do it.
We did say we were going to do that in our.
It's been 2 years. I think
of existence. I think
we can add that to Pat's.
I can't even be bothered to be on the show anymore. I don't know when I'm going to do that. TJ is the Skip Bayless of USFanTV. Does he have a brother who makes Mexican food? Is what I want.
No.
I have a brother who used to be a chef.
Let's say, Chris, you know both my brothers. Do you see either one of them as great Mexican chefs?
No.
I mean, we have the one that's a spitting image of Remy from Higher Learning, but that's another story for another time.
Seriously, like you watch those two, they're like the two unlikeliest brothers. One is just screaming about LeBron James constantly, no matter what topic is involved. The other is talking about moles and in a soft, sultry voice and making eyes at his own daughter.
That's creepy.
It's a weird. I'm not saying that happens, but if you watch that show,
as the kids say,
I love his food.
His food looks awesome, though.
Yeah, that's
everything I've made of
his.
Weird
vibe. There's a weird vibe that goes on that show.
Podcasts are more impressive, says King Leipzig.
All right, so something to work on. And he does, and I'm going to take exception with that Pat's comment that all Skip Bayless talks about is LeBron James. He has Aaron Rodgers in there too, but now beyond that, I think we're done.
I swear, every time I turn him on, they're debating Jordan and LeBron. It could be like,
I just want to know
July.
Why are you turning it on?
It's not a thing that here's the thing. He's on that show on FS1, right? With with the dude that used to not be able to speak English and now does, Shannon Sharp. Seriously, I used to not understand a word when he was a player. I could not understand.
Yeah.
Now
He always sounded like his tongue was too big for his mouth.
He's like Taylor Twellman in that I thought he was an idiot when he was a player, and now he's actually, he can make some points. But so sometimes I'll like have, I don't know, it used to be Champions League or whatever might be Bundesliga on FS1. I turn the TV off, and then I turn it on the next morning to turn on Paw Patrol or one of the shows that my son demands to watch, and FS1 pops up, and it's those two talking. I swear it's always LeBron and Jordan. Like, are we really doing this still, Skip? Still? And they're screaming. They're screaming about it.
Shannon Sharp might be knowledgeable. He's no Stephen A in terms of screaming at Skip Bayless, though.
I like Shannon better than Stephen A is terrible.
I actually thought there were times Stephen A was going to reach over the table and actually punch Skip Bayless, and I was kind of hoping for that. Jesse Gonzalez. I saw somebody earlier post that they think he might just be a Gold Cup goalkeeper. I really don't know. I think he should be. You're talking about Cannon being brought in as a nod to Perea. Wouldn't you bring Jesse in too?
I would like to see him actually come up and actually get a game.
Still waiting on that for Gideon Zalalem.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. There's another.
We
have a tendency to get really excited
about. He tweeted out those American flags on his Twitter handle, and because he was going to play for the U.S. and got his citizenship or whatever, his switch so he could do it, and everyone thought, "Oh, hell yeah!" And it's amounted to Freddie Adu.
Freddie played for us.
Freddie sold vacuum. Freddie sold vacuum cleaners. I mean, I'm pretty sure he was on the field during the cash drop for the Las Vegas Lights game when they did that stunt.
TJ is the Stephen A. Smith of USFanTV. That is preposterous.
I've been called Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith in one night. Damn. And where do I get all these names, Chris? I would think you should get at least one or two of these, Chris. Well, you got Vanilla Ice, so I think I'm winning overall.
Christian's here with the Crew HD videos account.
As I noted in the comments, I once saw Vanilla Ice in concert as a kid. Vanilla Ice, MC Hammer, and En Vogue all together. I was like 13 or 14.
How'd that make you feel?
I mean, like an ice baby.
Yeah,
and
too legit to quit.
Yeah.
Hey.
I'm like the Joey Fatone. Chris is like the bad boy who's like he got out of the band. He's got a coke issue and
Joey Fatone is a Fatone or is a fat one?
TJ is no one can figure that one out. Probably I don't even know what it would be. All right.
I would say John Popper probably. Just need another cheeseburger or something.
What about he's angry on Twitter, isn't he? Isn't he always yelling at people on Twitter?
Probably.
Guys who better talk about soccer. They're gonna get mad.
Thanks, your anonymity. Yeah, my girlfriend already tweeted me the same thing.
This is a damn
have we hit the wall on the men's roster?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Let's move on.
All right. Other things we should talk about. The women kick off their World Cup qualifying on Thursday. These comments are out the women kick off the Concacaf Championship on Thursday versus Mexico. Curiously, while they have beaten Mexico twice in 2018, Mexico is the only team to ever beat them in a Concacaf tournament. And they were actually up on us 2-1 in the second of those games before late in the game our women came back to win 6-2. So you have to say, yeah, we're going to win. Like it's the U.S. is just better than CONCACAF. It doesn't. I don't think it really matters. Short of incredibly screwing up, we're going to win that game. We're going to win the tournament and qualify. Carly Lloyd and Alex Morgan both have really good track records against Mexico. So you got to say there's a good chance you're going to see one, possibly, I think pretty likely, both of them score Thursday night. So don't miss it.
Oh, a World Cup qualifier in Dos Cerro.
Yeah.
I think it might be more than that, but we'll
I
see.
do. I do too.
Yeah. I watched the Alex Morgan movie recently. You see if there's a movie?
No.
There's
Tell us about it.
It's on Nickelodeon.
Kind of
guys.
movie.
Wow.
So she's a poster, a full-size poster on a teenage girl's wall who dreams of one day being a great soccer player. And one day, because of a vicious head injury suffered by the girl, the poster comes to life and Alex starts talking to her and giving her tips like practice with your left and things like that. And she got cut from, or she didn't get a real look from the big club in town. So this ragtag group of kids kind of had their own club led by this fake British guy. And I think you guys can pretty much figure out where it's going. It was this nice little movie. This girl was hearing things from Alex Morgan the whole movie. And then at the end, there was a nice little ending, and it was nice. I watched it because
So what you're saying is it was nice?
my son wanted to watch it.
Nice.
He likes things that are soccer related,
Nice.
but he doesn't watch this. He wouldn't watch this show. I know that. I don't blame him, but he would watch the Alex Morgan movie. So guys, there is an Alex Morgan movie. It's called Alex and Me. You should check it out.
If you're looking for a soccer show, this really isn't it. I don't think. Not at least if you're looking for expert analysis in soccer.
Is your podcast out yet, TJ?
It is not yet.
Are you going to call it the Soccer Soldier?
Probably not.
I think you should. What do you think TJ should call his? He's going to do like a spin-off, like when A Different World spun off from the Cosby Show.
And then it was actually
only no one's a rapist on this show. Ooh, schism. Yeah, TJ's going to do his own podcast, which will be a spin-off of USFanTV. It's our first ever spin-off, and you guys can help name it by telling us what he should name it right now in the comments.
Soccer's team.
This does not end well, does it, Pat? No, and I think we should offer it up. We're going to pick the winner right now. So if you guys have names, throw them out. We will choose the winner. We will choose the name of TJ's podcast.
TV fan. I love it, Leipzig. Well played.
Oh my God, anonymity.
Oh God. Zero anonymity. That joke. These jokes just stopped. We're not going there. This is so bad. US fan referee is not bad.
Ref got it wrong podcast.
With TJ, it would be the ref got it right, though.
You've never seen me ref this. You've never seen this me ref, so nah.
Oh, I just meant that you'd be saying the referee got it right because you're such a referee apologist.
Chris is going to be called the Vanilla Ice halftime show.
We're laughing. This is going to make no sense in the future.
That's okay.
These names are great.
Except that the comments actually stay with the show now.
That's true. They do. So hopefully it times out correctly.
Yeah, you never know.
Some people have serious ideas. I want to like force upon you a terrible title.
Force upon you.
The Stephen A. Smith soccer show.
Screaming A soccer. Yeah, I think the show is totally derailed. Is there anything else we should talk about tonight?
If you guys have questions about anything in the world, it doesn't have to be soccer. We'll answer them right now. Otherwise, we're going to end this, put the show out of its misery. But full time with TJ and Ben, yeah, it's going to be. It's time for our point.
Then it'd be fast time. Fast time with TJ and Ben.
It's time for the point counterpoint segment. Screaming.
But wouldn't a point counterpoint with Ben be kind of like doing a point counterpoint soccer conversation with your son, Pat?
Maybe.
Although Finn may
I don't know.
more.
You need to make this show and let us know.
Finn's smarter than I am. What about? Are you getting any Garber bucks to run this podcast?
No, well, I mean, it's kind of like Monopoly money in that way.
I was thinking the same things. It's
got about the same amount of value. No, I'm getting paid in TAM actually this time. Getting paid in TAM, it's ultimately Garber bucks, but they're using TAM allocation, targeted allocation money for this. So, what do you guys care? You guys get to put your podcast on. I'm going to pay for it. So,
yeah,
your own soccer Jesus.
Now you have a theme song and a title.
I was gonna say if Chris sings that for a theme song, that could be the title.
Oh, I would so do.
Jim's asking about eliminating the third DP spot in MLS. Yeah, that's a really bad idea.
To me, it's not. They said there's only 2 teams that actually use over the amount of money they're not eliminating it. They're cutting back the max amount of money you can use towards it. And I think there's only 2 teams that go over that currently.
Toronto and who?
I don't know. Probably New York, NYCFC. No, they cut. I don't know.
LA.
Probably. But then the money, basically the difference in the money is going to go back in towards target, I think, TAM, GAM, FLAM, JAM, SPAM, one of those type of things. I think it's actually going to go back towards TAM so you can buy down the mid-level players. That's all they're doing is just saying, we're not going to let you pay the top-end guys. We want you to spend more money towards the middle payroll guys. So I'm sure the union probably loves it that way.
It may be a way. Somehow the Galaxy, if they're going to keep the Zlatan, have to figure out a way. Because I don't know that they're dumping any of their DPs, and how are you going to pay them?
Dump Gio dos Santos and
aren't both Dos Santos designated players?
I think so.
Yeah, that's.
And who's their third?
Is it Ashley Cole?
No,
but you know
what?
Think
so anymore.
Like Chris and I will hate on Ashley Cole all day, but that dude has been there a while and done a decent job. Like, I'm stunned he didn't just come here for a year for a paycheck and leave. Like he actually. I don't want to give too much credit to Ashley Cole, but I
have kind of felt that it was really just that move from Arsenal to Chelsea where he kind of became Cashley, and it was just about I want money so I can talk about how much money I have, so I can flaunt how much money I have, so I can make you think I'm even richer than I am. Like, other than that, I don't think he's actually been a terrible person or player at his teams. I'm far enough removed from the situation now that I guess I can.
I mean, it's
give him a little bit of credit.
Might have happened too with those 2 teams and the way one did business and the way the other did business.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think this show has reached its conclusion.
Yeah, probably. This is well below our average length of time. Do we want to try and hang on for Sandra to show up in like the last 5 minutes of the show?
Soccer with TJ Lattimore.
Why do college kids go to football games instead of soccer games? Because it's just more popular. Because it's a thing to do. I think it's the timing. It's a lot of different things.
Except most kids aren't going anymore.
Maybe. Also, realistically, if you are in a bowl program, your college football players are more likely to play professionally than most of your college soccer players. At least at a big name, as a big name professional or something. Like your soccer players might go on to play professionally, but they might do it somewhere that you've never heard of.
I'm trying to pick the winner for TJ's. Soccer Jesus is pretty good. Let's see. TJ's Soccer Spectacular. Soccer soldier because of the there's logo possibilities there that could be pretty interesting. Camouflage soccer.
Well, camouflage
you
soccer.
You can't see this.
I'd say camouflage soccer is kind of what this show has become. It's we say we talk soccer, but apparently not a lot of it. But
guys, Chris introduced me to a new game.
Highly Unruffable.
That is pretty good. Chris introduced me to a new game on my iPhone it's called Woody Puzzle, and I highly recommend it.
It is rather addicting, I guess.
I just started playing it tonight while my son was at the dentist.
Not sure what that has to do with anything.
What does anything have to do with anything anymore?
What are we missing?
Are we not going to talk about Altidore? I don't know. Like, what do you want to talk about? His injury, or will he play for the U.S. again? I've stated I could see where he could fit in, but again, I would rather we try and find youth options, and if they fall through, then we figure out how to fit guys like Altidore or Bradley back in. Like, I don't see the point in bringing him in now.
I don't know, but
hot take.
I guess if Bobby Wood continues to have El Joseros and can't find the net, with the back of the goal with a flashlight, you may need to bring him back, because Bobby Wood hasn't been good. God, for a year? They're still throwing him out there, so why wouldn't you at least try Altidore one more time?
Goal. TJ's Dream Begins podcast.
Zumba. All right, I think we've hit a wall here.
Oh, and I did pick up FIFA 19, or was it FIFA 19, I guess?
I hope you didn't pick up FIFA 20 yet.
1995.
Yes, I also have FIFA 19. It is nice to see that they actually face-scanned Christian Pulisic this year. He looks right. The game's actually pretty fun. Chris,
I'm not good.
Mad at it.
Xbox or PlayStation?
I don't like the controls on FIFA games. I never have.
I haven't played one in years. And if you played it now, you'd get mad.
Maybe.
Play with my son next time you're down here, and he'll double middle finger you and do what he does.
If Chris wasn't getting mad, I think it'd be.
No, it's Finn that gets mad. It's not Chris. Finn gets mad at Chris when they play FIFA
because I beat him.
Chris smash.
Oh, you have no idea, Christian. I used to break at least one controller a week.
It was he would like. I've seen him smash $50 controllers just because he's angry at what happened on the game. Like the controller had anything to do with that. Chris plays Fortnite every day. I think he does. His name's actually Ninja. He dyes his hair and he has a big following. This is his like side thing right here.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, Chris being Vanilla Ice and Ninja Raps. Yeah, talking about the Ninja Turtles.
Slice like a ninja, cut like a razor blade.
See,
there we go. Cut like a ninja, slice like a razor blade, cut like a ninja, slice like a razor blade. That's what it is. Yeah.
We have social media.
We do.
USFanTV. And then subscribe to our show if you haven't. I don't know that this is the one.
Made it to this point. This is the night you're like, oh, I gotta do it now.
I don't know that this is the example show for why you should subscribe. You can go back and watch,
Although the chat box says this is USFanTV we need. As I've said the last few weeks, we're at 1,300 subscribers. We hit 1,500. We'll take an entire show, and you guys can ask us whatever you want.
And then you will name TJ's podcast on that show.
Or rename it if it's actually going by then. Yeah. Sounds like a deal.
You've been talking about it for a while. I think Soccer Soldier or Soccer Jesus.
I'll sing that song.
Or
I'll make up my own words or something so it can be a parody, and then your own Soccer Jesus. I already did, but I'll extend it.
TJ's highly unreffable.
I kind of like that. That's not bad.
I like that one.
That's the winner, I think. That's what you're gonna name it.
It's either that or Soccer Jesus. I'm kind of liking that one because we'll get all the Jesus freaks to listen once, and then they'll realize it has nothing to do with Jesus. So
Heathen.
when is it happening? In my spare time, I guess.
Why don't you pound a show out tonight? Throw it up.
I feel like I really feel like going and playing FIFA tonight.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I actually tried the Journey or whatever. Never tried, and this is the first version of FIFA I have that has that. Kind of fun.
Yeah, you should. I mean, I'm not saying you should go back and buy the last 2 games so that you could play them, but it is kind of, if you have played the 17 and 18, the story does kind of continue. It's pretty neat. It starts out with him as a little kid and stuff. So they've actually done a cool job with that. I like that.
Can you progress this player into the new version like you used to be able to do with college football?
Yes, like when you took the assholes of Brown Eye State University and we drafted them into the NFL on Madden. Yes, you can do that. Like
everyone I knew was in that game. I think both of you were in there.
I think my name was Pat McFuckface in the game, if I remember right.
That could be correct.
Soccer juice. Oh, that's a late contestant, I would say. The soccer juice.
TJ Simpson.
It's a killer. Pat McHattie.
I misread. I thought it was Pat McShatty, and I'm going.
At first, I did too.
We're not even drinking tonight. I see Pat's got a LaCroix.
I do. I like the LaCroix.
Well, that's you and I both tonight. Pat, yeah, we both have that going. So,
Jesus Christ, you guys!
Stop with dad jokes.
All right, Chris. Final words. Anything?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, TJ, what do you got?
Done.
I'm not sorry, but we're still done.
All right, you're done.